Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dinner for Two. But this one, again, we are in episode 4 of a 4-part series called What About Your Friends? And we are spending time with my friends and talking a little bit about friendship. Today, the topic is the friendship audit. Who deserves access to you? How do you determine who deserves access? It's often hard to figure out because of some of the things that we talked about in previous episodes, familiarity, time on task, all these things. It's hard for us to decide who actually deserves access to you. So we're going to try to help you with that today. What do you think, ladies?
Move carefully.
What do you think about the topic?
Oh, the topic's wonderful because at certain ages of your life, you need to know who needs to be in your circle, who needs to be in your space.
Yeah, we're going to do something a little bit harder today than what we did last time. Last time it was a hard conversation. It was harder when we were talking about familiarity versus friendship. So now we're getting into access. And when we talk about access, that means somebody that you are actually opening yourself, not people who just became a part of a circle, or they show up and then you're all in the same space. We're talking now about people that you actually open yourself up to. And how do you do that? We know that with maturity, something powerful happens, and that is you realize that you can love everyone, but everyone doesn't have to have access to your heart, to your mind, to your body, to your spirit, to the things that are going on with you. So let's jump into this really quick. I want to hit this as quickly as we can. Let me ask you, when was the last time you evaluated your friendships the same way you evaluate other relationships, or with more scrutiny than you do other relationships?
I would say after COVID,
Okay.
and I'm using that because it gave me a lot of time to be by myself and with myself.
Gotcha.
So you start to look at who is in your life and who's important, because during that time we really found out what was important, because the things we
Sure.
thought was important and the people we thought were important, we didn't have access to, and we did just fine. So I think my true reflection, a lot of self-reflection, was during that time. And then I try to do it at least once a year.
Yeah.
I really do. I take time to go somewhere solo by myself
Yeah.
and do some serious reflection about where my life is at this point and where I want it to go.
Yeah, you're really good at that too. You're really good at being reflective. I've watched you do that for years, and I think for me, it's hard sometimes to figure out where some of those lines should be, because I do have a lot of expectations of people. I do have expectations that people they'll show up the way that they showed up the last time every time, and that's not fair to people. But it's also my truth. And I expect I expect to be able to count on people to be who they say they are. And that may be part of the issue for me, is that I do expect people to show up the way they should. But I also know that it comes a time when you have to ask yourself questions like, does this relationship deserve lifelong access? So when you get to that space, how do you make those decisions? What are some things that you think about when you're trying to decide if something deserves lifelong access?
So my first comment to that, I would think I had two windows. I think COVID was one for me. Turning 50 was the other.
Yeah, sure.
Turning 50 was the other. And I think it goes back to choosing yourself. Something has to be the deciding factor. And if you're definitive in who you are, what you're trying to do, where you're trying to go, who you're trying to be, it allows you to kind of bounce everything else off of that. Like, am I going to get where I want to be if I'm continuously allowing access by this person?
Okay.
Am I going to get where I want to be if I'm continuously giving time to this? And at 50, what is this going to look like in 10 years if I continue? When you talk about lifelong access.
Mhm,
And what is this going to look like in 10 years if I continue to do this?
Great question.
What is this going
Yeah.
to look like in
Great
5
question.
years?
Mhm. Great
But
question.
I'm aligning that or uh, using that to determine if there's any alignment
Right.
by
Right. For sure.
knowing where am I trying to be in 5 years?
Mhm.
Okay, so
Mhm.
will this access allow this? Where am I trying to be in 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
Will this access?
Mhm.
Like, what do I need to shave off,
Mhm.
disconnect,
Mhm.
disappear?
Yeah, for sure. All of those.
Whatever,
All those words.
in order to get there.
So let me ask this: we're in a culture now, or in a time now, where people are saying, "Choose me. I
Mm-hmm.
choose me. I'm gonna just. It's gonna be about me." When does that become selfish?
I don't think it becomes selfish.
I think it should be selfish.
Right. Because the reason I say that
Mm-hmm.
is because when you are choosing you,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't mean that the Bible says you're not supposed to gather treasures for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Choosing me doesn't mean I'm only doing things for me.
Mm-hmm.
It means that if I'm choosing me, I can be a better me for you.
That part.
Yes, and that's
I
true.
can be a better me for my grandkids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The opposite of selfish is when I'm trying to do everything for everybody, but I want them to put me 1st. That's selfish.
Yeah. Is that an extreme though? Let's think about it. Is that an extreme? Are those the extremes? Because sometimes when we hear I'm choosing me, some people take that as that means I have now, not that I'm elevating myself and moving to a better place and these kinds of things, but I now have decided that nothing else matters. And can that become selfish? Because I think for me, I love I'm choosing me. I'm choosing me as well. So I love that. But sometimes we can choose me so much that you've gone to, and I'm asking this as a question. Can you have chosen you so much that you now don't care about other people and other things and things that you should be caring about?
I think that depends on the connotation that's assigned to it.
Okay.
And I think for some people, the moment you say you're choosing yourself, they hear something negative.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a connotation
That's true.
they assign.
That's true.
They
Very true.
assign to that.
Mm-hmm.
When in actuality, it's like Shai said, if I'm choosing me, I'm going to be more caring.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm choosing me, I'm going to show up for other people. So I'm not choosing myself is not to the exclusion of being a good person. It's not to the exclusion of caring for others, but everyone benefits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If it's done from the right perspective.
Yeah.
Now that does not mean avoidance by building walls and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
shutting people out. That because that's not really choosing you.
Yeah. That's what I was getting to.
That's not choosing you. When people do those sorts of things, the whole protecting my peace.
Mm-hmm.
When people do that,
Yeah.
that's not choosing you. Choosing you requires work.
Yeah, it does.
It requires real work. But in the end, you do show up as a better
version of you.
version of
and
yourself.
I think that's what I wanted to point out. So I'm
and
glad
it's like that's the umbrella. Everything else just grows from that.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to point that out, because there are some extremes to that. And when people go to those extremes, sometimes it ends up being more detrimental, because that's really not what you want. Is you create a space of isolation.
And that's not choosing you.
Yeah, and that's not choosing you. So I wanted to, that's why I asked that question about it being selfish. When you get to a place where it's like, I'm choosing me, so I don't care if you're on fire.
Right.
That's a whole lot different. And then you have to ask yourself, is that authentic? Because do you care or do you really not care? And then did you ever care if you can just not care because you chose you? So I think that was what I was trying to bring out, because I know a lot of people are saying that now, and it's become really cliche. Right. I'm choosing me. I'm protecting my peace, all these things. And all those things are great. But when you do it to a space do it without that really being the purpose of it. And you start to now make that your excuse for isolation and for treating people poorly. That's not choosing you.
Not choosing
Right.
you.
That's not choosing you. That's choosing to be nasty.
That's exactly what it is.
And again, that's self-reflection because you're reflecting
Right.
something that
Right.
you're not working on you
Right.
into the world. And
Right.
one of the things that I can put or attach to I'm choosing me is God says love thyself as love your neighbor as you love thyself.
Which means you had to start there.
You got to
with
start
self.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's what we forget. We use the cliche words without understanding the definition.
For sure.
And so when you start reflecting on your own behavior and you see patterns of behavior, whether you're getting in arguments with people or like you said, I don't care about you, I'm choosing me. And you start reflecting on those patterns of behavior, you'll find that you didn't love you and it's something about you
Right. Right.
that you're projecting on that other person. So I would say the selfish part of I'm choosing me is when I don't do that second part and love thy neighbor.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for bringing that because that's what I was trying to get to. So when I was digging, that's why I was digging because I know a lot of times, like I said, we say that. We say, I'm choosing me. But what does that really mean? And if choosing you causes you to treat other people bad, poorly, you're not choosing you. You're choosing to be nasty or something else. So silent insecurity syndrome shows up quietly. It celebrates you publicly but competes privately. It supports you conditionally and withdraws emotionally when your light shines too brightly. What does that say to you? What do you hear when you hear that? Silent insecurity syndrome, and I call it the cis syndrome in the book. But silent insecurity syndrome shows up quietly. It celebrates you publicly but competes privately. Doesn't necessarily feel good when you're winning. They just like, I'm supposed to be here smiling, so I'm going to sit here and smile. Yeah, girl, that's good. That's so good, girl. Oh, but inside they feel miserable. It supports you conditionally and withdraws emotionally when your light shines too brightly for them. What are you hearing?
I think that it's you experience it when you're the recipient of that. You experience it as a heaviness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
You experience it as a heaviness that you're not sure what to do with.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sure how to handle it. You don't really know what to do with it
Mm-hmm.
because that's not something you can fix for someone else.
Right.
It's not something you can fix for someone else. And trying to approach them about it probably isn't going to go well.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they're probably not in a space to hear or receive that. And if they were and they were really connected to you in that manner, they would be working on that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you would need to bring it to their attention.
Yeah. I think sometimes people have done it for so long
Yes.
and have lived in spaces like that
Yeah.
for so long that they don't know, they don't even realize that that's what they're battling with. And it goes back to the self-reflection piece and knowing kind of what's inside of you
Right.
and how to manage what you're feeling. But we've been conditioned to kind of put those thoughts off to the side. Even though we feel it, and it's like, oh, I ain't jealous of nobody. So you start talking yourself out of what you're actually feeling when instead of dealing with it. And that sometimes puts us in a space where we're not growing. And we hurt people and we're not growing and we hurt people.
And I think sometimes some people, they like that, they like the presence of that aura of being around people who are doing great things and are accomplishing and all, but it comes at the expense of those smaller feelings that they have to battle or deal with. But they don't want to be around people that are not accomplishing things.
Right.
They want to be around the quote larger group or larger energy.
Yeah.
But then that requires them to figure out what to do
with what they're feeling,
with the residue of that.
Yeah, with what's inside of them. One of the things that my mentor has said for a long time is you owe people love, but you don't owe them access. And why do you think it's so hard for people to pull back on access?
I read a book that once said you will allow people to mistreat you slightly more than you mistreat yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
And that's why we do it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a female relationship
Mm-hmm.
or
A romantic relationship.
it's a reflection of how you treat
How you
yourself.
see you. Yeah.
Is how you allow people to treat you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I had a friend that, matter of fact, I think you the one told me. And you know, I always say you train people how to treat you.
Yes.
And you say, Shai, that just sounds so mean. And I'm like, it is what it is. When you train people how to treat you, that means they treat you without even thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It's how they behave. Just like you train an animal,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to teach them how to eat. You just train them when to eat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People are the same way.
Mm-hmm.
You train them how much you accept from them.
That's right.
Is how much they're going to give you.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. I always say too, we talk about these standards, like we have these standards, so we have these things that this is my standard. And you've heard me say before, your standard is your floor. It's not your ceiling. So when you start to think about this is my standard, I'm right here, this is how this is going to be, but you allow something that's less than that,
Mm-hmm.
or you have come to expect something less than that from the people that you're around, you need to redefine your standard. Your standard is what you allow. That's your standard. It's not what you expect. That's your goal.
Mm-hmm.
But your standard is what you allow. Your standard is what sits there and you're comfortably uncomfortable with that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it happens to be. So it doesn't make you feel good, but you're more comfortable with that than really doing something about it.
And when you allow, like, your boundaries
Mm-hmm.
are your boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
People don't perform to your boundaries.
Right.
Your boundaries are what you do.
They're for you. Yeah.
And when you start, if you know your boundary is, I know I'm going to bed at 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
But you start to allow yourself to be on the phone at 10 and 11 and 12, but then you get upset with that person.
Mm-hmm.
That's not their fault.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
That's your fault.
It is. It's yours. It's yours.
So a lot of the behavior that people project on you is what you will allow.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to say to yourself, they don't need access to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to allow that.
Yeah. 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 I have 5 things here that just 5 questions every woman should ask themselves. One is, does this friendship honor me?
Mm-hmm.
Does it honor me now, where I am right now, what I feel right now, what I'm thinking right now, who I am right now? Does this relationship still honor me? Am I okay in this space? Then the next one is, do I feel emotionally safe here? Can I be naked and not afraid?
Mm-hmm.
Can I be not ashamed? Can I say I messed up and it be okay? And we go, okay, let's figure out, yeah, you messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we now fix what you messed up? Because you did, you stepped in that one. So now let's figure out what we need to do from here. Is it a safe space? Can you be safe in that? The next, can truth exist without punishment?
Mm.
Can truth exist without punishment? Can I bring something to your attention without you punishing me, intentionally or not intentionally,
Right.
unintentionally? Because sometimes you'll say you're not doing that, but you are. Your behavior's doing it. You're doing it. You're doing it. You are. You are. So, did you ever honor my truth? Did my truth ever really matter to you? Apparently, it didn't, because now you're still holding my truth against me.
Mm-hmm.
So you're punishing me for my truth, which then it wasn't safe. So can truth exist without punishment? The next one is my growth celebrated? Are you celebrated when you grow? Are you celebrated when you do something different? Are you celebrated when things go well for you? Or is that when I get quiet? Is that when I'm like, well, if you need me, just let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Not, or, if you ask me, I'll do it. But if you don't say nothing, I'm not going to say anything either. Those kinds of things. Is that what happens? Do I have to shrink to maintain peace with you?
That's
Do I
a
have
good
to
one.
shrink? Do I have to shrink to maintain peace? Can we be peaceful with me not shrinking? Do I have to pretend I'm lower than what you believe you are
Mm-hmm.
for me to be all right with you? What do you think about those 5? Because if the answer keeps hurting you, that's information. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If the answer is, if the information is there, it's information. You need to do something with information. So what do you all think about those questions? Does the friendship honor me? These are the 5 things for your friendship audit. Does the friendship honor me? Do I feel emotionally safe here? Can truth exist without punishment? Is my growth celebrated? And do I have to shrink to maintain peace?
I think within the responsibility of friendship,
Mm-hmm. I love that.
some of
responsibility.
those points rest with the how.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned one about being truthful.
Mm-hmm. Can truth exist without punishment?
Can truth exist without punishment? Okay. How do you deliver truth?
Mm-hmm.
I think I think that's where the responsibility of a friendship
Agreed.
comes in.
Agreed.
It's often not the what, but
The how.
it's the how, because maybe sometimes that punishment angle of that comes with the how the truth was delivered.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know we can say things out of passion and concern or what have you, and sometimes maybe be a little overzealous in the delivery. But I think the how has a lot to do with what comes next.
Yeah, that comes up a lot. You brought that to the forefront a lot, even in these conversations, the last 2 episodes. So let's talk about that a little bit. How is important. How is people receive things. You're only one half of an equation. You're going to only be one half of of whatever it is. So you have to think about, your message isn't for you, it's for the person, it's for your audience. Your message is not for you. Your message is for your audience. So you have to think about, how will your audience receive this, and what's the best way for me to get the point across without isolating the audience.
Yeah.
Now, the other side of that is, you can't tiptoe around everything,
Right.
because people can't.
Right.
You got to figure out, are you going to be able to handle this? If you can't handle anything, then when do I get a chance to tell you the truth?
Right.
So, so I think it's a delicate balance in there, but the how is going to always be important. Most times it's not the message, it's the delivery. So delivering it in a way that brings, that still honors the relationship and honors the person that you're talking to matters.
I think it has a lot to do too with knowing your friends and knowing people as individuals. So my background is little people in school, and so I
Mine
think
is
about I think about a teacher in a classroom. There's a student that you can say, "Come on, man, let's."
Yeah.
And he's, "Oh, yes, ma'am, and he's fine with it.
Right.
Another child may view that as pure embarrassment.
Right.
So
Yeah,
knowing
Knowing the person.
knowing the person, and I think tempering delivery based on your understanding of someone is not tiptoeing around, but because you still have to get it out.
Yeah.
If you're
for
going
sure.
to be responsible with
For sure.
with the friendship and you care about this person, you still have to, but you don't have to just deliver it the way that's most comfortable.
Yeah, no,
to you.
that's why I
Right,
said
right,
your
yeah.
message is for your
Because
audience.
if I really
It's for the
care about
person you're
that,
talking
I'm
to.
going to consider time, place, opportunity. I may know that it may get your attention best when you're on 10. I may know about you. It may take. Let me wait till she comes down to 1.
Right. Exactly.
And just knowing which,
Mm-hmm.
like where, because I know that person
For sure.
and
For sure.
considering those things and not just going all in because I'm so focused on
Or so full.
or so full.
Yeah,
that
you've
I
waited.
just
You've waited too long.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
if you ever feel like you have to literally just vomit all over everyone, you've waited too long.
You waited.
Yeah.
You've
Absolutely.
waited too long. And in your relationships, you need to create spaces where people don't have to wait long. They don't have to wait too long to say things, that they can say it. And again, I am 100%, because I'm a person, you can't yell at me. I'm not going to hear you. I'm not listening to anything you're saying when you're yelling at me. So I get that. For me, it's going to always be delivery. I can take anything that you say based on how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's important. So we have to be mindful too of, remember what I said a while ago, that your message is for your audience. It's not for you.
Right.
You're getting it out, but you want it out of you so they can understand it, and you have to make it fit your audience. Your message has to always match your audience. So
some people respond to questions better.
right, exactly.
Like maybe the way of reaching is, well, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Did
Mm-hmm.
this happen?
Mm-hmm.
Or that, well, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As opposed to,
Mm-hmm.
well, now let me just be honest, because you know you can be.
Right.
You know, kind of
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Right.
like that.
Or did you
doesn't-
feel, when
know-
when this happened, how did you think that felt? to the
Because am
people
I
around
here
you?
to help you,
Mhm.
or is this my opportunity to let you know
To let you have it.
what I really think about
Mm-hmm.
you,
Mhm.
or to like you,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
how.
Yeah.
It's also, you have to know where you are and they are. They are in their lives.
Good. That's
Correct.
good.
Because
That's good.
you may have a friend
That's
that
good.
you've had some growth in your emotional or stable mental
Mm-hmm.
environment,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but that person is still growing, and
Yes.
they are harder on themselves
Yes.
than anybody
For
else.
sure. For sure.
So you
For sure.
want to be there to help them and tell them the truth, but my truth may not be your truth right now.
Right.
I may know he's no good for you,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not my place as your friend
Mm-hmm.
to make that your reality.
Mhm.
It's my place as your friend to be there
Mm-hmm.
and support you
Mhm.
where you are, and then help you walk out of whatever that is.
Right. Whenever you
And
decide.
I think sometimes as true friends, we've seen enough of what somebody done did to a friend, and you just want to go in and
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
but you can't.
Yeah. You can't.
And
sure.
just because you're not being your honest truth right now
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean I'm not being honest with them.
Mm-hmm.
It means I'm just
Timing.
meeting them where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm supporting them because I can say something that's truthful,
Mm-hmm.
and I know she's gonna beat herself up.
Mm-hmm.
I know she's gonna take it, and she's gonna ruminate on it. She's gonna think about it, and that's not helpful.
Yeah.
So again, I'm still doing what's best for her
Right. Right.
as a friend,
Right.
not what's best for me.
What's best for you? Exactly. Exactly. And sometimes, when you started that, I was thinking too. You have to, when you said you have to know where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people can be in crisis.
Yes.
They can be in crisis and say things, act a certain way, feel a certain way, just they're experiencing a lot, like crisis, just in crisis, however you want to define crisis. And you have to make space for them to try to navigate that as well, and be open to realizing that they're just not themselves in that moment, and helping them. That's not when you abandon them. That's not when you run away. That's not when you punish.
Mm-hmm.
That's not when you attack. That's not when you, not as a friend. That's not when you pull away. That's when you say, I'm going to stand here, and I'm going to help you.
And I think when we do these things like podcasts,
Uh-huh.
as 50-plus-year-old women, you have younger women that listen to us.
Mm-hmm.
And
For
we
sure.
have had other experiences that they haven't gotten to yet.
Yes, for sure.
And so the way they handle a friendship
Mm-hmm.
may be a protective way.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's my responsibility to tell you it may not be the best way as a friend to tell her he is not this, or to tell her
Yeah.
that person is hurting her, even though you're doing it from a good place.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
To be a true friend is about understanding that person and being there for that person to walk them through, not to change it for them.
Right. Right. Right.
I think also that's the beauty of circles and villages,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because knowing that this may not be something that you can receive from me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And because I care about you, I acknowledge that. And I step back and know, you know what? She might receive this better from you for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I care enough about you not to make this matter more intense, more stressful.
Mm-hmm.
I care enough about you to not insert myself in there as the deliverer of truth
Mm-hmm.
Right.
because I know I don't think you're going to be able to receive that from me. And so I just may not be the one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For this situation.
thing, yeah,
For this
for
thing.
sure.
I may not be the one. It's kind of like our children.
Yeah.
You could say
Yes.
the exact,
Yeah, for sure.
you know,
For sure.
exact same thing. I remember potty training my kid. And okay, so we go to daycare and we pay these people hundreds of dollars a week, and you come home and say, Miss Daniels said, big boys don't do this. Well, thank you, Miss Daniels. And here's $200, you know?
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
you said the same thing.
That you've
but
been saying,
I
yeah.
couldn't receive it from mom.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we have to be honest about that as well. And create and not get in our feelings about it.
And not get
Not our feelings about it. Sometimes it's not now there's a difference between being isolated and iced out
Yeah.
of
Right.
of a situation. Now that I'm not saying that that's okay, but you have to sometimes figure out who's the best person to deliver that information. And sometimes it may not be you, and you got to be okay with that.
Gotta be okay
because
with
you
that.
could sound like the principal.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know, and maybe that's not what that person needs.
Yeah.
at
Not
the
in that
time.
moment,
Or
yeah.
you may sound like
Yeah.
the coach or the
Yeah.
therapist, and
Yeah.
maybe that's not what they need
Yeah.
at that moment. And if I know that can be my delivery, I might need to bow out on this one.
Right. And it's okay. It doesn't mean you're any less valuable. It doesn't mean that doesn't impact your value. It just means that you're aware.
You're not the best person for the role.
Right. And you're not the best person for
And
that
that's
role.
okay.
And it's
in
okay.
in that moment.
And
in
that's
that moment.
okay.
Doesn't mean you're
okay.
out of the play altogether.
Yeah,
You're
Right.
just
It
not
means
the
not
best
that
person
moment.
for that.
Not that moment. Not that moment. All right. So just a few things to reflect on. I want you to ask yourself, who drains you after every conversation? Who celebrates you publicly but resents you privately? And those would be the people that smile, girl, that's good, but then they won't talk to you about it, or they won't say anything, or they won't let's just go to social media, they won't comment on your post. They don't heart it, they don't like it, they don't whatever, but they saw it, but they refuse to have any comments or anything about it because of how they're feeling inside. If that's the reason, some people just don't comment on stuff.
Right.
So don't get in your feelings about that either. Are you showing up authentically or managing your personalities to keep the peace? Are you able to really be who you are when you're in these situations, in these relationships? And if not, you may need to limit your access. May need to limit access. You owe everybody to love them, but you do not owe everybody access. And it's okay for you to decide that I can't give you space in this season because you hurt me. Because you're hurting where I'm either going, or you're hurting me right now, or I don't feel good when I leave you.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you realize that that's happening with a lot of people, check you. Ask yourself, why can't I not? Everybody's not jealous of you. Everybody's not hating on you. Everybody's not just don't want to be with you. You have to figure that thing out and ask yourself, and it requires self-reflection. And as Shai said earlier, we're older, have gone through a few more things. So learn from the experiences. You don't always have to put your hand on a hot stove to know that the stove is hot. So if someone else has been through that fire, learn from their experiences. It's okay for you not to burn your hand and still get the message. Let us give you those lessons, because that's part of what our work is. The Bible tells us too that the older women are to teach the younger.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to be able to give you, hopefully we're able to give you some things that you can really pull from that can help you see how you need to navigate things. And we don't always agree. We're not always on the same page, and everybody plays their role. That's what you get out of this circle. That's what happens here, and we know where to take what problems.
You mentioned something about those who can celebrate you.
Yes.
So when we talk about younger
Hmm.
ladies. One thing I would like to point out is who genuinely celebrates you.
Genuinely, yes.
And to
yes.
be cautious
Yes.
of being overly celebrated
Right.
Mhm.
in public.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes they'll make the post and they'll
Mhm.
do it, and then you're like, but
Yeah, but you don't talk to me.
you don't talk to me like
Right.
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
talk to me like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it fits their persona
Mhm.
of being the ultimate friend
Mhm.
to
Mm-hmm.
celebrate,
Mhm.
my super this friend or my
Yes.
super that
Yes.
friend,
Yes.
but you don't support in any
Mhm.
way,
Right.
Yeah.
or you don't say you
Yeah,
don't pay
for sure.
compliments, but you do it on the outside,
Right.
and that's more about how
You.
you look as a
Right.
friend,
Right. Exactly.
as opposed to who you're really being
Yes.
as a friend.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
yes.
I would just caution the celebration.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely be careful of people that don't celebrate you at all,
Mm-hmm.
but be careful of those who overly
Mm-hmm.
celebrate in a
Mhm.
way that shines more light
On who
on,
they are,
on who
as
they
opposed
are.
to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why if what I said here was, and remember this because I know sometimes you all have said, I write those things down. So let me say it. I said who celebrates you publicly but resents you privately,
That
or
part.
doesn't engage with you privately, or those kinds of things. So definitely what she's saying is what's there. Again, ask yourself who drains you after every conversation. When you're done, who exhausts you mentally, physically, emotionally, all of that. Who celebrates you publicly, but doesn't show up for you privately, won't say a word to you. They walk right past you and won't mention anything, but they're all over social media talking about how great you are, and it's really about them showing
Mhm.
how wonderful they are as a friend. And are you showing up authentically? Are you able to be who you are when you walk into this space with them, or do you have to be someone else for them to be comfortable? So ask yourself those questions, and ask yourself, why are so many women trying right now to just recover from friend groups and things like that? It's it comes down to sometimes your picker's broken.
Mm-hmm.
Not having the tools.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's figure out that thing. Use some of these things that we talked about to establish your own framework for how you're going to evaluate your relationships. If they do not bring you peace, if you can't be who you are, you can't be truthful and honest, and you can't stand in that space and know that they have your back and that they're celebrating you, then you may want to limit the access. It's okay for people, we've talked about it before, it's okay for people to move to the different seat on your bus. They don't have to sit in the front seat. It's okay. They don't have to get off the bus. It doesn't mean they're bad people. Sometimes they're just not right for you right now. So you don't have to put them off the bus, but it's okay to move them to a different seat. They don't have to be in the front seat of your life. So anything else, ladies, before we go?
Now, it was a wonderful time just being able to talk and reflect and share some experiences. This was a great experience.
Oh, thank you.
I think one of the biggest pieces is remembering when you mention younger ladies or listening to us young girls,
Mm-hmm.
and realizing that a lot of this cycle just keeps going because people don't have the tools, they don't have the models,
Right.
they don't have
sure.
access to
For sure.
this type of
Mm-hmm.
platform
Right.
that speaks to what's okay and what's not
Yeah, for
okay, and ultimately being okay with choosing yourself and managing your expectations.
sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, expectations. We talked about that on a couple episodes ago. Go back and watch that one if you didn't, because that is where your biggest disappointment
Yep,
comes from, is those
does.
misplaced expectations
Absolutely.
and unspoken expectations.
And unspoken.
So you have to be honest about that. Healing will change your circle.
It does.
Healing changes your
does.
circle, not because you're becoming difficult, but because you're becoming more clear.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to see things different, and clarity protects your peace. So you got to be mindful of the things that are important to you, and don't be afraid for those things to be important because of the people you're around. If you're around the right people, they'll be okay with what's important to you.
Absolutely.
They will be okay with that.
And healing can change the dynamic of your circle. And it can be a very beautiful thing. It doesn't have to get rid of the circle. It can change the dynamic
Mm-hmm.
of the circle. I think in our first episode you asked something about what was it like a defining. Oh, you asked what was the oddest thing we bonded over.
Yes.
That was the
absolutely.
question. And
Yeah.
my answer was death.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
that can change the dynamic of your circle, and it can take it to another
Yeah.
wonderful level.
Yeah,
that
for
was
sure.
that was unexpected. Just
sure.
experiencing life together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Life is an experience, and just knowing that you have people around you who you can do life with and do life with them well, and you can be well in that space is magical. That's the thing that you're looking for. That's the thing that you want to hold on to. Everybody can't go where your healing is taking you, so you got to be mindful of that. Everybody's not designed to walk with you everywhere, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's rejection. Sometimes it's alignment, and I want you to be comfortable with aligning yourself with the right people in the right seasons for the right places that you are actually going, because you can't take everybody everywhere. Can't take everybody everywhere. Y'all know we got people that can't go some places.
So T.I. said the grass and the trees start in the same place, but they don't end up in the same place.
Yep. Now I love it. Listen, and there's your quote from T.I.
T.I., baby.
Between T.I. and Plies, don't quote Plies.
I go to bed between 9 and 10. I bet you that.
Yes. So between those are lyricists for sure. So with that being said, ladies, if there's nothing else, then we can close out this episode.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. All right. So thank you again for watching. Hopefully we were able to leave you with something that is dynamic, something that is transformational. That's really the point. And something that will help you to grow and see yourselves in a different light. We always want you to shine. So with that being the case, shine on and know that we are here if you need us. Like, comment, subscribe. I read your comments. We read your comments. We talk about it. If there's something that you'd like for us to talk about, let us know. And we'll try to make that happen for you. So with that being said, remember, permission to love yourself has been granted. Take care, and we'll see you on the next episode.